welcome to this episode of Beauty to Bank. My name is Season Bennett, and I am the CEO of The Social Barber, and I help established beauty professionals learn how to package up your expertise into digital products so you can avoid burnout behind the chair, okay? So digital products are a really amazing way that you're able to package up your knowledge and sell it. Okay, so it's not a physical product. It's not something that you have to package up and put in the mail. You don't have to have inventory. You don't have to do all of this fancy stuff. You're literally just sharing the things that you know. Okay, so I see everybody coming on in and joining. Go ahead and drop a one in the comments if you can hear me okay. I've got a new setup here. I've been working to try to increase my quality, y'all. Okay, I'm trying to increase my quality. So go ahead and drop a one in the comments if you can hear me okay. All right. All right, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So, guys, I want to share this information with you because as of right now, we are like all in on Zoom. Okay. Like we are all in on Zoom. Like everyone knows how to use Zoom. Like I've been using Zoom since 2015 when I first started my online school. And it's so interesting to me because Zoom is just become such a staple ever since the pandemic hit. It's become such a staple, but it's like Zoom, you can do so much more with Zoom than just talk to your grandma on her birthday, right? Or do virtual meetings and birthday parties and things like that. Okay. There's so many things. I use Zoom so much in my business. Okay. Even just for the fact of, with me, I have my group coaching program that I do every single Tuesday. We meet online and we meet via Zoom. Okay. Every single week we meet and we talk via Zoom. And it's interesting because when you talk about Zoom, there's a couple different ways that you can use Zoom. Okay. And I can actually share that with you. Okay. I see that you guys can hear me okay. I feel like my AirPod is coming out of my ear here. So let me know if you guys can still hear me okay. And if you're having any kind of issues, okay, with hearing me, okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to pull my Zoom up so you guys can kind of see because there's a lot of things about Zoom that people aren't really realizing that are kind of very interesting and important as you start on your journey to creating digital content. Knowing how to, actually knowing how to use Zoom will really change the game for you. Okay. I literally use Zoom to even create my digital content. Okay. So let's get into this. Okay. So a lot of times, let me go ahead and share this screen with you guys. All right. I'm going to share this screen. Okay. It looks a little different, guys. Now, one thing while I'm sharing, I want to see if you guys notice anything about my video because I've been looking to increase my quality, I've been investing in a lot of different lighting and different content. And what's really funny, you guys, funny story, okay? And this is actually a lesson that I'm learning over and over and over. I actually spent thousands and thousands of dollars over the past week on different types of video content to like increase the quality of my video. And right now, the best thing that I've gotten was the cheapest thing. It's this webcam here. So I just want to see. I'm going to do a side by side for you guys later so you guys can see. But huge, huge, huge difference in the quality. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen here. Okay. So we're inside the back end of my Zoom, and I have a paid version of Zoom. Okay. So with my paid version of Zoom, it actually allows me to go ahead and do meetings and webinars. Okay. So right now, how we're talking, I'm the only person that's able to talk. And the way that you communicate with me right now is you type comments. That is called that is more similar to a webinar. Okay. And so a webinar is an add-on on Zoom. Okay. And an add-on, I think it's about $40 extra a month is the lowest price, right? But you have to have the pro level of Zoom and able to be able to use this. Okay. Now I use webinars a lot when I'm teaching my live classes because, and I hope you guys are taking notes here, strategy. Okay. So I teach live classes, but I always have the replays available for sale. I literally always have the replays available for sale. So I can still answer questions when I'm doing a live webinar because I can see when people type in the question. Go ahead and type in a question right here so I can show you what I mean, okay? type in a question wherever you're watching me right now. Um, and I can answer the questions in the moment. Okay. But it also gives me a clean recording. Okay. So, and I'll tell you what I mean by clean. When I'm on a meeting, that's usually probably how you do your grandma's birthday parties and all the different things that people are doing on Zoom right now to communicate with everybody. And so basically what happens is that other people are able to talk and share their screen. They can turn their microphone on. They can turn their camera on and off. Guys, listen, there's times when I first started out, I used to teach classes on a meeting on Zoom. And y'all, listen, they would mess up my recording. It was so distracting. Okay. People would come into the class. Okay. This is when I'm talking about a meeting. Okay. They would literally come into the class, and what they would do is they would be joining from their phone, and I guess they would be texting people and doing stuff, and they would be, you guys see this right here? Do you guys see how distracting this is? And they'd be doing this. And that was on my recording. Okay, that was literally on my recording. And I was like, you know what? Like, I can't live my life like this anymore. Okay. I can't do this anymore. It's too much. And so that's why I started doing the webinars. Okay. So it's up to you. I really leave it up to my students. But I do want you to understand what are the pros and cons of doing it as a meeting versus a webinar. Okay. With the meeting, it's a one-way, a meeting, everyone can unmute their mics, turn their camera on. And then with a webinar, it's just one-way communication. You can have guest speakers on your webinar if you want to do that. If you have somebody else that you're partnering with to do your class, you can do that. But you'll get that cleaner recording, which is what I've been talking about. Okay. So in Zoom, there are some other things that you can do. Okay. When you actually start your Zoom meeting, you can share your screen. I don't know if this is going to let me actually start a meeting because right now I'm already using that same spot. Okay. For broadcasting. Okay. But what I do, there's a couple ways that we've talked about ways that you can use Zoom. Okay. So one of the ways, let's say you would like to, we've talked already one way that you can use Zoom to create digital content. Okay. Now, my definition of digital content is a little bit different. My definition is I like to have my digital content, digital products, whatever you want to call it. For me, it's a way that you're able to sell your knowledge in a way that it's not time for money. It's not an equal trade of time for money. Okay. So let's say, for instance, Jaleesa makes $100 an hour, right? Then what ends up happening is, if she's teaching how to braid online, then she doesn't just have to teach one person, or she's not limited to making $100 in 1 hour. She can make 500, 1,000, 10,000. There's no limit. It's the same amount of time that she's taking to create the content, but she can make unlimited amounts of money. Okay. And that's why it's so important to understand the tech piece and set it up properly. Okay. So that's why I said, so we've already got number one, the first way that we have learned to create digital content is to go ahead and is to do a live webinar or a paid workshop. Okay. You can actually charge for that. And you can charge for your time. You promote it and let people purchase the ticket to the live workshop. That's the first way. Okay. The second way to make money is to, of course, sell those recordings. Okay. Now, I will tell you this, when you have recordings, and I don't know if I have any left in here. Oh, I do. Okay. So when you have recordings in Zoom, when you have the paid version, they allow you to have tons of recordings. Okay. They allow you to have tons of recordings. And I could actually go ahead and I could actually share a link to this recording. So I know you're like, but Season, why are you showing me this? And you've been telling me about Kajabi. Okay, listen, this right here, if you keep your recordings in Zoom, they're very expensive. Like when you save your space and you save your recordings there, it's extremely expensive. I would only use this if I was going to share a replay for a short amount of time and then delete it. When I say short, I'm talking like one day. Okay. Literally like one day, because it's very, very expensive. Okay. To keep it like this. But then also, let me teach you a little trick that I learned the hard way. Okay. So let's say for instance, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this. I'm going to hit delete selected. Okay. Actually, let me go ahead. I'm going to hit the download button first. Okay. Just to be safe. And so I've downloaded the files, and the files are on my computer now. Okay. So when you record in Zoom, you don't have to keep the files in Zoom. You can download them. Okay. But so you see, I've went ahead and I've checked the box here, and I'm going to delete this recording. Okay. Now let me tell you something tricky that I found out the hard way. Remember when I was telling you that it's very expensive to keep your recordings in Zoom? Y'all listen. Okay, so it says deleting here. It's working on deleting. You guys, guess what happened to me? Okay, they will still charge you for your items that are in the trash. Yes, they will. I found that out the hard way. And so it says it's still deleting now, slowly but surely. Okay. And let me see if I can make this a little better. Let me know if you guys can still hear me okay. All right, we had a little interruption there, but we are back. Okay, we are back, you guys. Thanks for hanging out here. All right, so that file is deleting. Okay, so one thing that gets a little tricky there is that you also have to go ahead and you have to delete the trash. You have to empty the trash. If you do not empty the trash, then guess what, you guys? They will still charge you. Okay, so frustrating, so annoying. Okay, all of that. All right. All right. So my file's slowly but surely deleting. Okay. I think we're having a little bit of connectivity issues today. We are live. Okay. Beauty to Bank is live every single Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. So that is the second way we can share this, but we don't want to share it here. That's where Kajabi comes in. We would download the recordings like I showed you. We would download it and we would upload those into Kajabi, and then we could sell the replays there. Okay. Now, I'll tell you another thing that you can do. Okay. If you want to go ahead and you want to create content live, pre recorded. Okay. You know, how sometimes you log in, even if you log into the Social Barber Academy, right? And let's say you logged into the six-figure business system, right? You would see that I have some things that are pre-recorded and they're not live. All right. So I can log in here. Let me log into my student account. And y'all listen, okay? I have had my online school for since 2015. So I have a lot of classes, okay? But let's see if I come here and let's say I click on one of these videos, right? So these videos, I did not do these videos live. Okay. I literally did these videos. These were pre-recorded. And I did these. Let me show you here. I'll do it. Click on another one. Okay. So sometimes you might want to go ahead and you might want to click on, and do something, pre-recorded. Maybe you're like, I don't want to do it live season. I have a lesson that I would like to do without it being live. Okay. And so this right here is an example of what I'm talking about. Okay. So one thing that you might be surprised about, you may not have thought of, let me know, is that you can actually go on Zoom by yourself. Okay. You can go on Zoom by yourself and record your content. Did you guys know that? Okay. And it's really easy. You can actually do it without any kind of editing or anything. You can actually go ahead and you can actually say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start talking. You know what you're going to talk about. You can just hit the record button and just start talking, and then you hit stop. And then that's a way that you can pre-record your content as well. Okay. I know. You guys listen, what's really frustrating to me, it actually took me a long time to figure that out. Okay. Which is kind of crazy. Oh, okay. It's allowing me to go ahead and do Zoom here because I want to go ahead and share that screen with you guys and show you guys how this works. Okay. I want to go ahead and share. Okay, good. Let me know if you guys can see my Let me know. Are you guys able to see my screen? Yes, Corey, it does have whiteboard. It does have whiteboard as well. A lot of times I do use Google Drive, but are you guys able to see my screen okay? Can you hear me okay still? All right, I'm going to share my Zoom, okay? I'm going to share and I'm going to go ahead. I'm actually going to get rid of some of these banners and stuff that I've got going on because I want you guys to be able to see the full screen, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and hide these things. um, just because I want to be able to share my full screen with you guys. Check this out, y'all. Okay, hold on. I'm going to share my screen here. And let me make sure my people can see. Can you guys see okay? Corey, Jaleesa, can you guys see this is actually my Zoom screen. Like I'm live in Zoom. I'm so excited. I was worried I wouldn't be able to do this. But I'm gonna, okay, so right here, you guys, I have my iPhone in my hand. Okay, I have my iPhone. It does not matter. Now, it does need to be an iPhone. Okay, Android people, I know you don't want to hear that. Okay, but it does need to be an iPhone. Okay, so this is something that I find really exciting myself is that I can actually share my phone screen. I can share my phone. So have you ever wanted to go ahead and say, hey, I love using this app, or let me show you how I do something on my phone? And you're kind of like, this, doesn't work well, or maybe you want to share your phone in a live class. Okay, you can actually share your phone. Um, you can actually go ahead and share your phone in Zoom. Okay, you can share your phone screen in Zoom. So I'm moving that out of the way so you see at the bottom, there's these controls. Can everybody see them? I know they're probably kind of small for you. I don't think I can zoom in on these. Okay, but at the bottom, there's a green part that says share screen. Okay, so I'm going to click on this box right here. Okay, see, you see now it's saying desktop one. I got a couple monitors here, guys. Okay, so you guys won't have, yours will just say desktop. And I prefer a lot of times when you are sharing just to go ahead and make sure you close everything good and you close anything you don't want people to see and you share your whole desktop. Okay, so for me, I have desktop one and desktop two because I have a monitor right here and I have a monitor over here and they're kind of big. Okay, but so you won't have as many things. Now this is where it gets fun. Okay, check this out. I've also got iPhone, iPad via AirPlay, and iPhone, iPad via cable. Okay, so I'm going to do the AirPlay one. Now let me tell you this though, when you do the AirPlay one, you have to be like on the same Wi-Fi. Okay, I believe you have to be on the same Wi-Fi for it to work right. The cable one doesn't seem to always be as reliable. I'll be honest with you. And I really don't like doing things on the Wi-Fi, but right now we are on Wi-Fi, so we're just going to go ahead and do it. Okay, so I'm going to click on iPhone, iPad via AirPlay, and then this is the one I'm selecting, and I'm going to hit this share button. Okay, now it'll say this sometimes. I don't know why it says this. It'll say a plugin is required to share an iPhone or iPad screen, and you just hit the install button. It'll be done in a second. See, it's done. Okay, so now all I have to do, you see it saying connect to my Wi-Fi network, and it's saying tap to screen here. Okay, so all I do on my iPhone, this is kind of weird. I'm going to swipe down, right? I'm going to swipe down. It's kind of like, where you get to this screen right here. And then I'm going to click on these little squares right here. You guys see them? I know this is kind of weird. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on those. And then now that's the screen mirroring. Okay. So now it's going to ask me, I have to go ahead and click the Zoom one, Seasons MacBook Pro. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And hopefully, okay, there we go. All right. So you guys are actually like getting to see, this is really dope what you guys can see, because you guys can see my whole screen. And then usually when you're sharing via Zoom, we're on StreamYard now. So StreamYard sharing my whole screen. And then the little piece with just the phone on there, that's Zoom. Okay. So if you're teaching a live class and you're sharing, then it would actually show you just the phone. The rest of it would just kind of have like black bars on the side and everything like that. But it's a great way to record your content. Okay, it looks like you guys can hear me. Okay, I was worried. I have my Zoom controls down here and my StreamYard. That's why I was like, wait a minute, am I muted? I'm like literally dropping gems, and I thought I was muted. All right, bear with me, guys, okay? I got a lot of tech going on, but this will be easy for you guys, okay? It'll be like you guys will not have StreamYard and Zoom and everything going on at once, okay? So this is the thing. See, now I'm able it's just like I'm using my phone. Other people will be able to share and look at your phone screen just like you're looking at your phone screen, okay? Um, okay. Jaleesa, you said no. I'm not quite sure what she said no to. There's a little bit of a delay on StreamYard. Um, but yeah, so you can actually share your phone screen and everything, okay? Are you you're unable to see my screen? Okay. This part right here with the green outline, this is what Zoom is sharing. And this part right here, this where you see Zoom on the outside, that's the part that StreamYard is sharing. Okay. So it looks to me like you guys are able to see. Okay. And let me just make sure. Oh, okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Jaleesa said yes. Okay. Yes. So there it is, guys. So this is another way that you can use Zoom to create content, right? You can actually share pre-recorded or live. You can go ahead and actually share your phone screen. It does need to be an iPhone as of yet, as I know. It has to be an iPhone. Sorry, Android users. I've been telling y'all, okay? But yeah, it's not an Android world out here, okay? A lot of the newest tech and apps and everything go to iPhones. I don't know why. But yes, this is another thing that you can do to create your content. Okay? So I mean, this is to me this is so exciting and it's actually super easy to do. All right? All right. I'm gonna stop sharing this screen here. I guess I'll leave it on just in case, right? I'm like, okay. I did not realize that Zoom was gonna actually allow me to do this at the same time. So I'm kind of excited about that. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap. Okay. We're gonna do a quick recap right now. Okay. So number one, right? We can use Zoom to do live content, whether or not we choose to do it as a webinar or we choose to do it as a meeting. It's really important that that people understand and that you understand and be purposeful about whatever way that you're doing. Okay, if you choose a webinar, it's one-way communication. If you choose a meeting, there's many people that will be able to join your meeting at once. Okay, now the next thing, all right, so we can take those recordings, and one thing that I always do, and you guys probably will hear it in this recording, is that I always go ahead and make sure that I have I put my settings so that every single time I start a Zoom meeting that it automatically records into the cloud. Okay? Y'all listen. I have forgotten to hit the record button before. I have literally forgotten, and that's why it's so important to me that I want to make sure that I let you guys know some of these things. Okay. So we've got pre recorded content, we've got live content, we've got our phone, right? And you can actually use Zoom as well, the recording piece, but I would not recommend using the recording piece on Zoom for a long period of time because of the fact that, if you do it for a long period of time, then what will happen is they'll charge you for the recordings. Okay, they will charge you for the storage on your space. So it's really important that you do have another place to put your recordings and another place to sell them, right? If you guys have been following me and listening to me for any amount of time, you guys know that I'm going to tell you guys like, hey, you got to have those order bumps and upsells. Once I started adding those just a little bit more to my cart, that's how I started really making real money online. Okay. I increased my income by 60%. Okay. Now, I'm going to share with you guys one other thing that this was something that was more recently I've started using this. Okay. Anything that you guys are doing, you have got to know your numbers. Okay. You have to know your numbers. Okay. You have to know your numbers. So when you're using Zoom, Zoom actually provides you with the capability to know your numbers. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you again here. All right. And I'm going to share because this is important. Anything that we're doing, we have to measure. Okay. If we don't measure, we don't know what we're doing. Okay. I'm going to try not to share personal information. So I'm not going to click on the details of these reports. But in Zoom, okay, I have the paid version. Okay, when you go down to reports, and there's a few other spots up here, usage reports and daily. So this gives me an opportunity to see how many meetings and or webinars that I had a day, right? So it's by day here, and it tells me how many participants and how many minutes total that each person was on there. Now, I am actually right now exporting this data and I'm using it for my rewards program. Okay. So I'm able to see how many people joined. I can see every single person that joined my Zoom meeting, how long they were on, if they joined from multiple devices, if they went out, they came back in. It literally counts. All of this is part of Zoom. Are you guys surprised to know this? Are you guys surprised about this? This is just part of Zoom. You see this? This is like 112 minutes. There were two people here. This is, guys, listen, it's all in the data. Everything is about numbers. Okay. So even when you're doing things, you want to track, okay, I sold this many tickets. How many people showed up live? Okay. How many, even if it's free, you want to look at your numbers. You want to be able to take those numbers and do something with them. All of this, everything that we do, guys, everything is a math problem. Okay. Everything is a math problem. And so it's just, and it's not a hard math problem. It's more of like, hey, I sold 10 tickets. I would rather sell 20. Let me figure out how to get twice as many people in there. Okay. Yes. So this is another thing I definitely want people to realize in here as well. Okay. Um, I've actually got my Zoom set up so that my Zoom does high def sharing. Okay. So, but there's tons of settings and things like this, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys with the whole all of the Zoom features, but I did want to share with you guys some of just the information. And Zoom is so powerful. It is such a powerful tool and it's actually super easy to use. Like, I mean, literally, listen, I can tell you guys this because I know my mom's not listening. Okay. I know she's not listening. My mom is one of the least technical people in the world, and my mom uses Zoom. So I know you guys can do it, okay? Okay. Okay. There is so Corey said, and let me go ahead and I'm gonna add this onto let me add his comment on here. So he said, I'm sure you covered this, but the payment mechanism included in the paid version of Zoom, or do you need a third-party app? Okay. You can sell tickets, right, to paid workshops and things. You can do that through Zoom. They only use PayPal, and you lose the ability because they don't have the ability to do the order bumps and upsells. So you're losing that ability. Okay, does that make sense? You're actually losing that ability. And so that's why I don't really talk about it. It is possible, but then you're going to, even if you use the paid version of Zoom to teach your live workshops, you're still going to need a place to house it. Okay. Like the recording, like after the recording, you can't sell it because if you keep it in Zoom, it's very expensive. Okay. But no, I did not cover that in here. But it's under the webinar feature. So you have to have at least a pro version. I can't remember if the pro version of Zoom is 14.99 or 19.99. And then you add the webinars like another 40 bucks a month. You guys, it's not a year-long thing. You can just, if you're teaching something live, you could just do it for the month. Um, for sure you could just do it for that month or whatever and cancel it if you're not teaching another live thing. Okay. But you can, when you schedule a webinar, there is a spot for you to accept payment, and that would be in the paid version. And you would have to use your paid version of Zoom, and you have to use PayPal. I'm sorry. I'm like looking at it on here right now. It is very interesting because like there is a lot of capability in Zoom. Like there's so much, like literally you could have a Zoom masterclass just to understand all of the different stuff. Okay. Um, there's a few things that are a little bit weird about it. Um, there's a few things that are kind of weird about doing that paid version, Corey, to be honest, because one thing I found out the hard way is that if you make your registration required, it's just a checkbox, right? If you make the registration required, people have to, Zoom will send the reminder emails, but your students have got to click the link from Zoom. If they don't click that link from that Zoom sent to their email, they're not going to be able to get in. Okay. Let me share my screen. I can kind of show you a little bit of what I'm talking about here because I know people are like, wait a minute, what? All right, hold on. So here I am and in the webinar feature. Okay. So if I come out of here, so let me actually close this. So I scheduled a webinar, right? Just schedule one. It looks like my webinar, I can have 500 attendees that can join the webinar. Okay. So then you might want to come in here. They've got some email settings and things like that. So if I wanted to go ahead and like I said, invite a panelist. So if I want to have a co-teacher or somebody else, then I could do that, right? So what you could do is you could hit this edit button right here. Okay. And then this is where you kind of come down. You might want to, you would probably want to go ahead and put this registration required. Um, I always do enable HD video just so I can get the highest quality recording. Now make sure that you're not using Wi-Fi like I'm using right now. You do not want to use Wi-Fi because it's when you do the HD screen sharing, it's gonna make you buffer. Okay. And you don't want to do that. Okay. All right. So look, when you make the registration required, no, I'm sorry, right here. All right, hold on real quick. Enable HD. These are the types of things I like to do. Let me see if I can get to the spot I was at just a moment ago. Corey was asking about the charging, so let me go down here. All right, you go down here to the edit. And let me figure out where my all right. See, now that you literally, let me stop sharing because literally 1 second ago I saw it. All right, hold on real quick. Let me get to the spot where, all right. So I know you guys wanted to know where you guys could charge because you can actually charge in here. All right. And I'll probably have to do like a separate video on this. I had it up just a second ago, but I don't want to, there's so many settings in here. I don't want to go ahead and kind of keep everybody while I'm looking through this. All right. See, now you're making me look. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Let me share the screen here with you guys. Okay, it took me just a second here. Corey's asking me the hard questions here. All right, here we go. Okay, so after you have your webinar set up here under the registration settings, and you'd hit this edit button, and then this is where you can charge your PayPal registration through PayPal. Okay, and if you want, you can go ahead and make it. You can have more people. I mean, I think Zoom supports up to 10,000 people. So you would just start out with your smaller amount, and then if people keep joining, you can go ahead and do that as well. All right. You can allow social share buttons, all that kind of stuff. Okay. If you wanted to add like it says a tracking pixel. So if you wanted to have like a tracking pixel, you can go ahead and add that as well. And you can also go ahead and add different pages. Okay. So like this is if you're doing some kind of ads, you want to have the tracking pixel, and then you can say save all. Okay. So you could change the dollar amount here if you wanted it to be $97, whatever it is. All right. And then now, right, the registration link is this link right here. So I just click the copy button and I'll just open it up here. And you can actually customize your registration more like by putting a picture and everything like that. But you see it has this registration fee right here. Let me see if I can zoom that in more for you guys. Okay, so if you scroll down here, the person would go ahead, they put their first name, last name, their email, confirmation, phone number is optional, and they could go ahead and pay and register here. Okay, it's only through PayPal. All right, did they answer you, Corey? Corey, you made me work for my money here. All right. All right. So that's a great thing. Now, I think that this is a lot of fun to do this way. Um, the only problem is, like I said, you're not able to add your order bumps and your upsells. And I wouldn't recommend housing your replays there to sell. Okay, I wouldn't recommend that because it gets very pricey. I found that out the hard way. It's very easy when you're teaching a live class for your depending on what you're teaching, for your live class to last between 1 to 3 hours. And then depending on if you're teaching some kind of hair or beauty technique, like literally teaching, depending on how long processing time and things, how long that goes. And then questions, when you're explaining something and you're taking questions, that always makes things take longer also. Okay. So all of that, you have to factor all that in. Okay. So these recordings can be quite large depending on what you're teaching in your live class. Okay. So just remember, like I said to you guys, like I literally have, oh my gosh, I literally have 100 classes. I have 100 classes in my online school. Like, y'all, listen, okay? I have deleted some, to be honest, okay? I literally have 100 classes, and that's why I don't share. I don't keep those in Zoom because one time I did that, you guys, and it literally cost me, oh my gosh, so much money. Okay, I got this humongous bill because I really make it an effort to go and delete recordings that I have and move them over to my online school for to sell the replays there. In addition to the fact that I'm able to add my order bumps and upsells, okay? So when you add the order bumps and upsells, this just a reminder for those of you guys who don't know, when you're adding order bumps and upsells, that's the type of situation where people are able to, I'll show you what it looks like. They can keep adding more to the cart. So when somebody has actually gone ahead and they've decided that they're going to go ahead and purchase from you, you are giving them additional products that they can purchase and make it really easy for them. Okay. All right. And let me see if I think I don't have those on here, but I can actually share somebody else who I know has um, their set up in the way that I teach because I don't have any classes on there for sale on my link right now. All right, so you see the class is $27 and you can add the order bump for 17. Okay, so this is the order bump. And then when you go to the next page, there's an additional thing that is offered. And that this has increased my income 60%. Okay. All right, good stuff. All right. All right. So thank you guys for joining. This is Beauty to Bank. I do this every single week. Okay. Every single week on Monday, noon, Eastern Standard Time. And I want to share with you information about how you can turn your knowledge of the beauty industry straight to the bank. How do you turn your knowledge into dollars? How do you create and sell digital products? Okay. Now, one thing, okay, I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit, is the fact that I do know how to do the work. Okay, I do know how to do the work. If you have questions, and just like Corey was like, hey, so how do you do this? How do you do that? I have actually, now I'm gonna tell you guys this. I know people might feel like, oh my gosh, I wish that I had that ability to do that. You guys, listen, it can be a hindrance when you know a lot. Okay, that's why I really, really, really try to focus on just teaching my students exactly what they need to know, because you're already an expert at what you do. Like you're already an expert. And it's just a matter of you being able to get your knowledge out to the people that be able to serve your audience. It's not about selling, it's about serving. Okay. And how you're able to serve your audience and serve a great volume of people all over the world. Okay. That's why it's important to have the tech piece set up properly. Listen, I've already made all the mistakes. I've literally made every single mistake that you can make doing this. I've already done it. Okay. So you guys don't even have to. Um, in my group coaching program, the six-figure business system, I teach everybody, like, listen, don't do it this way. I did this, that didn't work. Do this, don't do that, that kind of thing. And I meet with people every single week, and I go over the details of what needs to be done. Okay. So with that being said, I want to invite you. I have some invitations right here in the description, wherever you're watching me. If you want to get the first module of the six-figure business system for free, you can text me and I can grant you access. If you want to book a discovery call, I have that there as well. But again, I want to thank you guys for joining me Monday 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is what I do, and I appreciate you guys. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.